Hey everyone. I'm sure you've seen these sorts of things floating around on twitter.com. Just a list of questions in the form of a JPEG image. And the tweet itself, or the image rather, the image itself says on it, one like equals one question answered, or something along the lines of that. And then it's just a bunch of like useless trivia about the person who's posting the tweet. And I see a lot of these, and then I don't copy and post them because I don't really expect them to go anywhere, because in my experience I haven't been able to answer all the questions. But since I did put those up on my Twitter, I kind of wanted to answer some of the questions, so I'm going to do that in video form now. That's what this is. That's what this video is. Although, I will admit, I'm not going to be answering every question because I didn't actually read these before posting them, and I definitely didn't prepare answers. This is very unscripted, which is why it's going on my second channel. Anyway, the first little thingy is a video game one with 30 questions that when I posted it got 4 answers. So those 4 answers are already on my Twitter. And if you don't want to go to my Twitter, you can just pause the video, read a question, pause the video, read an answer. I'm going to pick up from question 5, game character you feel you are most like, parentheses, or wish you were. So, way back when I started my main channel, in January, I tried playing a game called Crystar. I didn't end up making it into a series because I didn't think it was working well. I went back over the footage and it didn't seem usable for the most part. I got 1 episode out of it, but it wasn't sustainable. I might revisit it eventually, but I'll have to be confident that I've adjusted well to recording stuff well enough that I can actually make something of that series. Also, why is Earthworm Jim trending? Anyway, Rei Hatada from Crystar struck me as rather relatable when I started playing the game. She is a picky eater. She has a good relationship with her younger sibling, except for the murder part. That's significantly less relatable. Also spoilers, but for like the prologue. So, yeah, Rei Hatada from Crystar. Number 6, most annoying character in a video game, because this is the video game. I should go to the bigger image because I have that tab open. Off the top of my head, I think I'm gonna go with the secondary rival from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and by Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, I definitely mean Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because that's the one that I played. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right Pokemon game. They kind of blend together, but the secondary rival, Wallace, whatever his name was, Wahlberg, the annoying little kid that chases you around and pretends to be cool and isn't actually, like, relevant to the plot in any way. That guy's annoying. Number 7, favorite game couple. I have to think about the questions because I didn't script this video. I don't even know what games I've played that have couples in them. Alright, I'm going to go with Fire Emblem Awakening, Chrom and Sumia. Not because I care at all about either of those characters, but because if Chrom and Sumia get married, you get to recruit their daughter Cynthia, who is adorable. Question 8 is best soundtrack, and there are a lot of really good video game soundtracks. The Danganronpa series has fantastic music. Undertale has good music. I know that the people who are fans of Undertale, occasionally some of them are very annoying on the internet.com, but the music is still pretty good. What else has good? What soundtracks do I have from video games? Because I'm one of those people that actually puts music on their phone on purpose, like as real downloaded files for offline, as opposed to just streaming everything always. What video game soundtracks do I have on my phone? I have my phone here. I should just look. Okay. Ace Attorney. Ace Attorney music is pretty good. Homestuck's not a video game. Dead Cells. I have the Dead Cells soundtrack. I don't really listen to it. Oh, A Hat in Time has a fun soundtrack. Let's see. Most of this is anime. Oh yeah, Portal and Portal 2 both have really good music as well. Sundered has a good soundtrack, but it doesn't really have music that I would listen to by itself, you know? The music that was written for Sundered is really good as a soundtrack when you're playing Sundered. It's not easy listening as much as other soundtracks that I've got access to are, but yeah, it's hard to pick. It is very difficult to choose favorites of things. Honestly, I said a ton of words in this segment that are all most of them are, well, some of them are names of video games that have good soundtracks, and I don't have a best soundtrack. I just have music that I like sometimes. Number 9, saddest game scene. I don't know. It's hard for me to think of an answer to this because there's a couple things off the top of my head that would be a good answer if I was actually sad about it instead of annoyed at the game when it happened. Fire Emblem Fates has Birthright has a moment after a chapter where even in casual mode where your units don't die, right? There's a guy who pulls Corrin aside and is like, "Hey, I think you're kind of cool. Want to hang out more?" And then he falls off a cliff. But I looked up why that happens, and apparently it only happens if you don't spend enough time with that character. So it doesn't actually work as a sad moment, because if you spend enough time with Kaze to actually care about him, then he doesn't die at that point. Whereas if he does fall off a cliff, it's because you weren't really paying attention to that character, in which case it's just, oh, well, the game killed off a random character, and that's annoying because now I have one less ninja in battles from now on. So that's not really a sad game scene. It should be, but it's arranged in a way that just irritates me. There's character deaths in Danganronpa that are a bummer, but the actual scene itself isn't really sad because, well, you get a little desensitized to character death when you're playing Danganronpa. I should open up my games folder. What games do I have? What games have I played that have sad moments? I think the saddest thing that's been on my main channel is probably the ending of Cat Quest, the final boss, and the sort of lead up and wrap up of the final boss. It's for such a like generically cute cartoony game, it's a really harsh ending in a lot of ways. Rather than spoil it in this video, I'm just gonna say, hey, why don't you watch the actual game? Because I have those videos. I've spent way enough time on this question. Oh yeah, I have to get through 75 questions. I can't be answering things this in-depth. Okay. Moving on. Okay, number 10, best gameplay. I am currently going to answer this with Touhou Luna Nights, because the time stop mechanic and the ways that it interacts with everything else in the game it's just a really engaging set of gameplay systems. And other than the controls being a little weird, and I don't think you can change the controls, it's a really, really fun game. Number 11, gaming system of choice. There are two real legitimate answers to this. PC or laptop, which is what I actually have, just the computer in general, is the most useful because it's got Steam, it's got almost every game available, and if you have a good computer like I do, it runs better than most other gaming hardware. So it's pretty difficult to compete with PC. However, my favorite actual designed gaming hardware is the Nintendo 3DS, the new one specifically, new Nintendo 3, or the Nintendo New 3DS, whatever it's called. It's not a good name, but it's a good piece of hardware. Number 12, a game everyone should play. That is hard for me to answer, because a game everyone should play is... What is a game everyone should play? I don't know that. How am I meant to recommend something to literally everyone? I have no idea how to answer this, so I'm just gonna skip the question. You can't tell me what to do. 13, a game you've played more than 5 times. Let's see. What games have I even played more than 1 time? I've played Fire Emblem Fates more than one time, but that kind of doesn't count because it's 3 games, except it's not 3 games because they're all in the same cartridge for me, because I got the special edition. So I've played Fire Emblem Fates a bunch of times because you have to play 3 rounds of the game to get the full story in the first place. And then I went back and did some extra things. I've also played Portal a lot. I don't know if it's more than 5 times or less, but the first time I played it was at a museum. They had a whole video game exhibit set up because it's a science museum, and they were like talking about the advancement of video game technology and whatnot. But one of the things on display at the exhibit was Portal, and I played around with it a bit, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then later, I eventually got the game, and I played through it, and every so often, because this was a long time ago, every so often I go back to it because it's such a short game that I can just go back to it arbitrarily, say, I want to play Portal, and then do it. Granted, it's a puzzle game, so you have to wait a while between playthroughs to get any sort of reasonable experience out of it, so that you forget all the answers, unless you're speedrunning, in which case waiting a long time between runs is probably a bad idea. But yeah, either Fire Emblem Fates and or Portal, both of which I don't know for sure is more than 5 times. I'm assuming this means a story-based game that you've completed more than 5 times. If it's just something you've played, like you've opened the game 5 separate occasions, then that's a bad question. Number, 14. Current or most recent gaming wallpaper. I have my phone here still because I was looking at video game soundtracks. Currently, it has Corrin from Fire Emblem on it. If I turn my phone off because I have a wallpaper switcher, and then I unlock my phone, look at that, it's Komaru Naegi now. Isn't that fun? She's from Danganronpa, which is a very cheerful game. Number 15, post a screenshot from the game you're playing right now. Whoa, guess what? I'm not playing a game right now. I am not, in fact, currently playing a video game right this second. Although I could. Let's see. I can just watch this. Wow, a game. Aha. That's kind of like a screenshot. It's just the opening screen. Anyway, 16. Game with the best cutscenes. I don't really play a lot of games with cutscenes, is the thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I don't play games with cutscenes all that often. I play a lot of games that are low tech in a way. I guess the only games I can think of that I've played that have cutscenes are the 3 Fire Emblem games that I've played, which are Fates, Awakening, and Echoes. And out of those, I think Echoes came out the most recent. Shadows of Valentia, I feel like it would probably have the highest animation quality. It's been a while since I played a Fire Emblem game. I should get to 3 Houses one of these days. Number 17, favorite antagonist from a video game. Well, why do I keep closing my Steam library as if I'm not going to need it again? Okay, I don't know if this is the right answer in terms of it actually being my favorite, but it's definitely not going to be a very common answer. The Prince from Rogue Legacy is a pretty good antagonist, because he's basically just a dude who wandered into the castle that you've been exploring for the last however many generations in the game. And you get to this dude and you just realize, oh, he's gone completely insane from living in the throne room of the castle for centuries, and then you have to fight him because he attacks you. It's really interesting because you get to know the villain before you actually know he's the villain. The scattered journal entries around the castle make for an interesting build-up to the end of the game. Spoilers for Rogue Legacy of all things, I guess. It's not exactly a story-focused game, but yeah, 17, the Prince, Johannes, that's his name. Number 18, favorite protagonist. I think the fact that my favorite character is the protagonist of her game kind of counts as cheating, so I'm not going to answer her again. Instead, I have to pivot to a different protagonist of a different game. Let's see. Because, I mean, the point of this list of questions is, like, it's a get-to-know-you exercise, right? So I don't want to just repeat things for the same answer to different questions. That doesn't help. Technically, I have a PlayStation 2 game sitting near me in my room that is an adaptation of my favorite movie. So it is a video game answer. I see the video game. It's right there. And the protagonist is Coraline. So that's the answer to question 18. Ha 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 ha. Question 19. Picture of a game setting you wished you lived in. Here, let's wow, would you look at that? It's a video game. It's a video game with a video game setting. This is a phone game that takes place in the real world. I would like to live in my house, please, thanks. Number 20, favorite genre. Because this is a video game thing, I'm going to assume they mean gameplay genre and not storytelling genre. And I think it's probably the sort of 2D Metroid gameplay style where you run around and do stuff and collect things and it's fun and there's a story. Sometimes there's usually a story. Metroid Fusion is the Metroid game that I like most out of the ones that I've played. I do like the Fire Emblem games, but it's mostly for the story, not really for the tactics. Because I don't really do tactics. I do go to the DLC map and grind for experience and then roll the entire army of whatever the bad guy is. Strategy game. Did you know that random number generation in most Fire Emblem games is just based on unit positions? If you save mid-battle and then soft reset to a different turn in the battle, and then you do the same thing, then the random numbers returned will be the same. If you move a unit to a space and then attack and they miss, and you reset and you move that unit to that same space, they're gonna miss again. I think that's kind of funny. Oh, right. The newer Fire Emblem games have a mechanic for rewinding the battle. Not soft reset, not load a save file. What do you mean? I would never do such a thing. 21, game with the best story. I mean, it's probably going to be something I haven't played yet. I don't have an answer to game with the best story, but in terms of stuff that I haven't brought up yet that has good stories, there's the Beginner's Guide, which is interesting. I don't really want to talk about why it's interesting because that spoils the game, but the Beginner's Guide, sure. 22, a game sequel which disappointed you. I'm gonna go with Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair, which I haven't finished, and the reason that I'm disappointed in it is because it has a very poor hook for returning players. I already know what kind of game this is. I played the first one. You don't have to kick around a bunch of random fluff before we start the actual gameplay. It's such a slow intro, and I just can't care about the characters, which is what it's trying to get you to do, because I already know most of these people are going to murder each other. And so, instead of being time to get to know the characters, it ends up being time that is dragging its feet, waiting to get to the main story, and it's really annoying because I want to get to the main story, like, get on with it already. Is basically the issue that I have with it. When I finish the game, I will probably have enjoyed the game. But so far, I haven't gotten to the good part yet. And that's what's disappointing, is that it takes so long to get started. The first game had a really good hook because it was so in your face about the fact that there was a problem. The second game takes a long time to stop pretending everything's basically fine. And I'm not trying to play a game where everything's basically fine, you know? Number 23, game you think had the best graphics or art style. I'm gonna go with art style because I don't really care about graphics. And the nice thing about this is that I don't actually have to play a game to comment on its art style, so I can pick something I haven't started yet. Like Ender Lilies, which is just, I mean, look at this. Come on, Ender Lilies. I am planning to play that eventually. I just have to find time. Right. Number 24, favorite classic game. Let's see. The most classic I tend to go is Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't really like most arcade games because most arcade games aren't really designed to be good. They're designed to be profitable, and that means they're really annoying to actually play. So, Nintendo Entertainment System... What games on there do I like? Kid Icarus was on the NES, right? Kid Icarus. it's not the best game in the Kid Icarus series, but the Kid Icarus series itself is very entertaining. I just want Nintendo to make another Kid Icarus game already. Number 25, a game you plan on playing. There are many, many, many answers to this question. Literally anything in my Steam library that I haven't installed yet. I guess the more pressing question is, which of these do I plan on playing first? And looking through them, it's hard to say. It's probably going to end up being Lobotomy Corporation because I already have it installed. Yeah, why am I looking through my Steam library? I can just look at my desktop. Yeah, probably Lobotomy Corporation or Maiden and Spell. Those are the two that are most likely to be the next thing I start. Number 26, best voice acting. I don't know. Let's see. What games do I play that actually have voice acting in the first place? I mean, I actually really like most of the voice acting in Overwatch, which is a weird answer, probably, but the character voices are distinctive and easy to understand. A lot of talented people worked on the game. I know Blizzard is having a bit of a situation at the moment, but that probably doesn't involve most of the voice actors, so... Number 27, most epic scene ever. Okay, I don't know. Maybe the end of Portal 2, you know? It involves the moon. If you've played the game, you know what I'm talking about. Don't worry about it if you haven't. Although, it's not exactly a recent release, is it? Have people still not played Portal 2? Get on that, guys. Number 28, favorite game developer. I don't really pay attention to game developers. I guess I could say Gears for Breakfast, because so far they've made no games that I didn't like, because they've only made A Hat in Time, and I like A Hat in Time. So, because they have a 100% success rate, I'm gonna go with Gears for Breakfast. Number 29, a game you thought you wouldn't like, but ended up loving. I don't know if I have any. I don't usually play games if I don't think I'm gonna like them. I guess the game that I've played with the least volition on my part is Doom, and I haven't finished it yet. Number 30, your favorite game of all time. I don't know. I have a hard time picking absolute favorites in categories because even when you narrow stuff down, there's just different aspects to different things that make them what they are. And there are circumstances where I will prefer one thing from one game over a different thing from a different game. But circumstances change, and I don't think this is going to have a very stable answer. So sorry to build up all 30 questions to the final one and then not actually answer it. But on the bright side, this video isn't over because we have another prompt. This one is 1 like equals 1 answer. You can see that I didn't read the actual questions before posting this. Some of them are not going to be answered. I'm skipping 3 through 5 entirely. 3 through 6, sorry. Because no, I'm not answering that. And that just goes to show I should pay more attention on Twitter.com. I'm not elaborating on this, by the way. So, we're picking up from question 7, and no, I have never smoked. I've inhaled a lot of smoke, though, just from environment. And that concludes the Have You Ever section, because, whoops. Section 2 is questions that start with do you, : Number 8 is like someone, and I guess, I don't know. I have generally positive impressions of a lot of people. Number 11 is a really awkward question if somebody answers yes to number 10, isn't it? But it's not a priority. Number 12, do you have a tattoo? No, and I probably won't. Number 13, piercings, same deal. Number 14, do you party? I am a YouTuber with an anime character instead of a face. What do you think? Number 15, do you prefer night or day? Which I guess doesn't go under the this or that section. But night. I like nighttime because I have chronic insomnia. So, Twitter or Facebook under the this of that section. Somebody put a lot of effort into this set of prompts. And number 17, Twitter or Instagram. Both of these are going with Twitter. Take a wild guess why I might prefer, the website that this is on over different website. Number 18 is Facebook or Instagram, and I guess I'm gonna go with Facebook because at least it's honest about being Facebook. I still hate it though. Number 19, Coke or Pepsi, and I don't know for sure if I've ever had a Pepsi. I have had a Diet Coke, and it was underwhelming. Generally, the soda that I like is root beer, and I think the Coca-Cola company and the Pepsi company both have root beers. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Let me find out. Okay, Barq's root beer is bottled by the Coca-Cola company, and Mug root beer is a subsidiary of PepsiCo. And, I don't know. I still don't have a good answer to the question. I've just realized that. I went to the effort of looking up a way to answer the question, and it didn't actually give me an answer to the question. Whoops. Number 20 is tea or coffee, and I don't really like either of these, but I have to go with tea because it's the more customizable option, and if I really wanted to, I could probably find one that was fine. Number 21, tacos or pizza. I'm gonna go with tacos. Not very interesting tacos, to be honest. I like ground beef, cheese, and black olives, and literally no other ingredients, please. But, to be fair, I also don't get normal pizza. I don't like red sauce. Number 22, Discord or Skype. It's gonna be Discord. If you ask anyone under the age of, 22, it's gonna be Discord. I've only ever used Skype for talking to people in, Japanese. As in, the class, not the language. Although, usually both, but not always. Number 23, cats or dogs. Cats. There's a cat in my house currently. It's not mine. Number 24, single or taken. This is question 10 again. Unless there's a different answer, in which case that's really awkward, but I'm single. Would you ever get married? Probably, I could be convinced. Number 26, would you kids? Yeah, no, maybe. Who knows? That's a question. Number 27, would you ever swim with sharks? I don't know why you would voluntarily do that, but more importantly, I can't even swim in the first place. I would drown, I would die in one of the most horrifying ways that you can. So no, I'm gonna go with preferably not. Number 28, would you ever share a banana? I don't know why this is a question. This is a very weird question. This is a very specific question. If you cut it in half, then I guess the circumstances in which I would be required to do this are very confusing. But, the answer isn't, I would never do that. So, number 29, would you ever eat rotten food? I would very, very much prefer not to. No. Number 30, would you ever marry a foreigner? It depends on which one. And number 31, would you ever smonk pout? Probably not. I'm absolutely, completely neutral on other people doing it, but I have no interest. Number 32, favorite color. Dark green, maybe blue. That was maybe, as in perhaps. Although, in my brain, it kind of sounded like I said navy, as in dark blue, which is also not inaccurate, but I think dark green, emerald range of colors. Favorite number. Do people just know this off the top of their head? I'm probably gonna go with 4, because I like to do stuff in groups of 4. Number 34, favorite TV show. If anime counts as TV shows, then I think I've already answered this question somewhere. Otherwise, let's see, because I don't really watch anime on TV, you know? The thing that I watch on TV is Doctor Who. I'm a bit behind on it. I haven't seen the new stuff, but it's fun. When I say the new stuff, I mean season 10 and forward of the reboot. I'm not talking about the reboot in general. I was definitely not alive when the classic series was on air. Number 35, favorite season, winter. Bonus questions, and these also have the front half of the question missing. So I don't know why these are bonus instead of sorted into other categories, but I'm going to assume that one of these is probably an appropriate mark to put on the front of any question, and I'm going to read them as though that's the case. So, favorite country you live in? I've only ever lived in the United States of America. Would you ever Twitter handle meaning? My Twitter handle is literally just Shirana Itsuki, which yeah, that it means what it is. That it it doesn't mean anything. Do you care what others think? I'm not gonna say no because that's such a categoric denial of so many different things that it would be ridiculous. But in general, I'm not overly invested in what others think on various topics. I can be curious, but it's not really gonna make a difference to me. Have you ever Chinese zodiac sign? I think snake is the thing that is the answer to this question. Song I am listening ? I'm gonna go with no. I think the answer to this question is no. Bonus question 41. Would you ever random song from playlist? I have my liked videos on youtube.com, and I'm going to hit the shuffle button because it's all music. And it randomly opened to the newest upload from Tsuyu. Behold, the YouTube channel. So it's this one. I'm not gonna play it, obviously. Number 42, devices, devices battery percentage, plural, devices. So I guess my laptop is currently fully charged because it's plugged into the wall. My phone is at 75%. It was at 80 when I started recording, but I've been recording for an hour and 6 minutes because I'm not very efficient when I don't have a script. Bonus questions. Favorite, play any sports? When I was very young, I played soccer and baseball at different times. So I have played soccer and I have played baseball, and I would not like to do so again. I've vastly grown out of that. Bonus questions. This or that, witches or vampire? I think the witches probably have the advantage just because there's a few of them, and once they figure out they're dealing with a vampire, they might have spells specifically that would be able to handle that. An individual witch might not necessarily overpower an individual vampire, but since they're in a coven, I think they're gonna win. And finally, number 45, believe in ghosts ? Not really. I believe in souls, but I don't think there's a way for them to stick around here. They've got somewhere to be. They're busy. So yeah, that was some stuff that I posted on Twitter. I'm sitting here acting like I'm trying to record an outro, but I know for a fact that I don't know how to do that. So I should probably just click the stop record